Hey you guys, this video is gonna be something different than what you guys are used to seeing on my channel. And to start off with, I'm gonna say that I'm recording this video humbly and with complete humility and just in obedience to God, because I've been putting this off for some time now, and I've just been having all the signs that I need to really just sit down and do this. I also want to say that I'm not perfect and I do not know everything. All I'm doing is sharing my testimony and my story. Our testimonies are powerful, and I never know who could come across this video and could be going through the same thing or went through the same thing and needs the hope that things could get better, because things always can and always will get better. So this is going to be my testimony video, how I got saved and my walk with Christ. I grew up in a Christian household. My family, they're Christian. My parents were very involved in church, and we went to church every Sunday. We always participated in the church events and everything like that. I've always known the idea of Jesus, because it was implemented and influenced into my life since a young age and as me growing up. And if you came from a Christian household, you know what that looks like and what that feels like. That ultimately set a foundation for me. So it's 2025 now. I'm 21 years old. I've been trying to chase Jesus since after I graduated in 2022. So my senior year of high school, I was in a relationship with a guy that was a bit older than me. And when I graduated, I moved in with him and his family. And let me just tell y'all, that was my first mistake right there. But everything is a learning lesson, obviously. So I did that, and during this time, I was really just like stay to myself and my boyfriend type of girl, because that's how I am ultimately when I'm in a relationship. And so I wasn't working or anything. I wasn't really doing anything but being up under my boyfriend at the time. And I lived with him and his family. So everything was good and great during this time. I bought my first Bible, which was the She Reads Truth Bible. And every now and then, I think it was like a week where I was reading the Bible every day and, posting verses and stuff like that. But I was really just doing it out of boredom, not because of really any desire to actually be saved and seek out Jesus Christ. So I was doing that every now and then. I would pick it up and read, still being lukewarm, not knowing what I want. So I'm not gonna go full into depth on the situation, but we broke up and I found out something that really put me into a very deep spiral. So this started in December of 2022 when we broke up. I've always been in like relationships throughout high school. So I was graduated, I had a car, I had a job, a little bit of money and stuff like that. So I got some freedom, and slowly I started to become just a very worldly person, I guess. Also, I grew up in like a really strict household where I wasn't allowed to just go out. Like, I wasn't allowed to go out during school week. I could go out with my friends to the mall and stuff like that, but if I went out one day, I'm probably not going out next week and stuff like that. So I really, at this time, I was just feeling a sense of freedom, I guess. So I was taking advantage of it. It started on social media where I would just be posting seeking male attention a lot, and I would get it, and it made me feel good. I guess I was trying to fill a void or something. I started becoming friends with people that were outside, and so they started inviting me out. We used to go to parties and clubs and all the things, and slowly they got me into drinking alcohol. I got drunk for the first time, and I was like, oh, I like this. So I kept doing it, and I smoked for the first time in high school, but back then, like, I didn't like it. Like, I had a really bad trip, and I never touched it again. But after I transitioned into drinking, I started getting into smoking, and I was like, oh, I like this. So I kept doing it. When I started to go outside, drink, smoke, like all that stuff, you know, and it slowly just started adding on, like messing around with boys, filling a void, getting drunk, you know. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know at least one person in your life that's like that right now. So you guys know what I'm talking about. And I was that person. I was living that lifestyle, and at first, you know, it was just like a fun thing. Like, I go to work, and my friends during the day were texting like, oh, we're finna do this tonight. Like, you know, it was just a fun little thing to do. But over time, as I started to consume more alcohol, I started to become addicted to it, I guess, and the feeling. So it became a problem. Like, I was basically like an alcoholic, and it started to turn into like a little bit of like depression and stuff like that. Around like June or July of 2024 is when I started to feel like depressed, I guess. And I felt like I needed to drink and smoke all the time to just like fill a void and feel okay, I guess, because I had been so used to that feeling like all the time. So that's just how I wanted to feel, like all the time. And if I wasn't feeling like that, you know, I would feel sad, and just I wouldn't feel good. I was very like known as the girl that was an alcoholic. I would be out everywhere, like all the functions or whatever, outside. And that was just me at that time. So in this year of drinking and smoking and partying and nothingness, it wasn't even really a year. It really lasted about 9 months. I really had no desire for God at all. I wasn't thinking about him at all. I was in countless places and situations where like I could probably not be here today, but through it all, obviously God was there with me every step of the way, like protecting me, because he knew that it would lead to something better, something greater, which is what I am right now and who I'm becoming. Around September is my birthday month, and my birthday lies on the last day of the month, which is the 30th. I noticed how bad my life was going. Like, it was just so much happening. Like, I was wasting all my money buying alcohol, weed, clothing and stuff to go out and party in. And I noticed how bad my life was going and how I didn't like it. And I knew that this was not a life that I wanted to continue to live. So, you know, I was like, after my birthday, because I decided to get an Airbnb and throw a party for my 20th birthday, I was like, you know what, like, I told all my friends and everybody that I used to be around, I was like, after my birthday, like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm leaving this life behind me. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, I need something more out of life. Like, this is just not for me. I did have fun, but it got to the point where I was just too dependent on feeling high or drunk, and there was just too much bad things happening to me. My car got very damaged, and I'm still living with that to this day. Like, because of the bad actions that I made in my past, like, I'm still suffering from it today. Like, granted, like, my car is still in good condition, working condition. Like, it's just physically damaged. I was hanging around the wrong people. My car got keyed by people that I don't even know to this day. And it was just like, the signs were all there, but I was really ignoring them. I was just too caught up in the world, and I was just comfortable with where I was at and what I was doing. So I didn't feel the need to change anything until September. I didn't know what I was gonna do. But what I did know is that I'm gonna stop partying, I'm gonna stop drinking and all that. Like, I was like, it was fun, you know, while it lasted, while it was fun. So after my 20th birthday is when I decided to stop, and I actually did. I stood on my word, and I slowly made baby steps to like rebrand myself, I guess. I felt that, you know, if I needed to make this change, that I needed to like remove a lot of people out of my life that was influencing that in my life and that I was hanging around. And it was no beef or nothing, like no judgment that they were still choosing to do what they were doing. But for me, you know, I just needed to change, and I felt like, I guess I needed to probably isolate myself. So I think I had nearly like 2,000 followers on Instagram, and I really removed everyone, and I only have 200 followers now. Like, it took like a couple months, but I removed a lot of people because a lot of people were just people that were influencing bad things, posting bad things, and really just like would tempt me to sin. So I removed all those people and removed all that from my site. After my birthday, early October, is when I met my most recent ex-boyfriend, and he is the main person that really played a big role in my testimony. I didn't want to speak about him, but my testimony would honestly not be my testimony if I never met him. So I met him in October of 2024, and I felt like God really sent him into my life for a reason. So we had a situation where it really messed up a lot of trust in our relationship. I feel like this situation is really what led me to seeking out Christ more, because I wanted to influence following after God on him, but I wasn't following after God yet. And I feel like throughout our whole relationship, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to influence him to do something that I wasn't fully committed to doing. And although, you know, over time, I was slowly converting myself at this time. We would go to church every now and then. We would read the Bible every now and then together. But the relationship definitely wasn't founded in Christ. In early 2025, I started back working at Amazon, and if y'all have been tuning into my videos, y'all know how I feel about Amazon, okay? So, needless to say, I was unsatisfied with my life, and I felt like I wanted to do more, and I wanted to fulfill a purpose and just do something that mattered. And so, I think I saw maybe on TikTok I started seeing healthcare videos and nursing and CNA, and so I looked into being a CNA, and I was like, I don't know if this is right for me, because I've never been the type of affectionate and caring person that is needed to be a CNA. But I was like, you know, I'm willing to give it a shot. Like, I'm going to take this leap of faith, and hopefully something good comes out of it. And so in March of this year, 2025, I took my CNA class, and I became a CNA. That honestly, I feel like changed the whole course of my life and just how I started living and the person that I was becoming. And like I said, I was never the type of person that would be affectionate or caring, or that would even, like, I used to be a mean person. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would be very rude. I would just be a very rude and standoffish person. And my heart was very hardened because I used to hold on to a lot of things in my past that shaped me into a just rude, mean, and bitter person. And I had to just learn to let go of that. Becoming a CNA really helped me soften up my heart and learn to love and care about people and be compassionate and have empathy. It really touched my heart. When I had my clinicals for the CNA class, I was like, yeah, this job is for me. And so, like, I really didn't know how much of an empath that I could be, but I truly have really became such an empathetic person. Becoming a CNA and working as a CNA has helped me building the traits of Jesus Christ and ultimately bring me closer to him. I knew that healthcare was definitely something that was a calling to me. So I started nursing school in June of this year. Fast forward to the end of July of this year, 2025, is when we officially broke up, and is when I felt like so empty and so heartbroken and just so lonely. I had no other choice but to turn to God. I had no other choice. There was nothing and no one else that could help me in that time but God. Throughout our relationship, I've been wanting to move out. Like, I've always wanted to move out of my mom's house for other reasons that I'm not going to get into. But I had this desire to just move out so bad, and I wanted to move out with him, but it seemed like he never wanted it with me. I also just wanted to add that, like, moving out never worked out for me in the times when I wanted it to work out so bad, because if God would have granted me that gift when I was asking for it, it would not have worked out and it would have led to destruction. So everything is God's timing. I had to realize that I was delayed. I was never denied, because here I am now. And this is one of my biggest blessings, and I'm very grateful to be able to have the opportunity to live on my own. So when we broke up in July is really when I really felt like was one of my lowest points in life. Like, I just felt so empty. I didn't know what to do with myself. And before I did turn to God, I literally the day after we broke up, I went to go see a psychiatrist, and I begged for them to put me on medication because I thought medication was going to help, but it didn't help. I took it for a week, and I'm like, why am I still crying every day? Why am I so anxious? Like, why is all this happening to me? Like, why? It got to a point where, like, I was just feeling just so empty and so overwhelmed with all these emotions, and I was like, I need to be alone. Like, and at this time, I wasn't like, I was just in my emotions. I just felt like I needed to get alone. Like, I gotta be alone. Like, I don't want to be around people at all. So I started looking at apartments, and I planned to move out by myself because I was like, you know, I can't even be around, like, my family right now, like, because they irritate me and they make things worse, and they're wondering why I'm not speaking to them and I'm just disrespectful, but they don't know, like, the hurt and the pain that I'm going through right now. So it was all just making it worse. So I'm just like, I need to be alone. I need to get alone. And so I was looking for apartments, and I went on a fast August 9th through the 16th. I moved into my apartment on August 15th, and that whole week I fasted, and I wrote it in my notes exactly what I was intending and what I was fasting for. I have it here on my phone, and I do work a manual labor job. If you guys don't know, I'm a CNA, so I couldn't completely fast, do a dry fast, but I only ate salads. Straight lettuce and dressing is all I ate for a week straight, and I drank water, no juice or nothing. And in the past, I always wanted to do a fast. Like, I've always tried to do a fast, even like if it was one day, but I could never do a fast. And it's just because I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. I was just doing it just to do it. I didn't have any intentions, and I wasn't serious about it. But this time, it was just a pain so bad. I just felt like I needed to go on a fast. This story is going to be all over the place, but before this, I started to read my Bible. It was right before me and my ex-boyfriend were about to break up. I started reading the book of Proverbs. I found Bryce Crawford on YouTube, and I started watching his Proverbs series every day or every other day, and until it got into a routine. I was reading one Proverbs chapter a day, and slowly I could feel the transformation. I went on a fast for 1 week, and this is the first fast that I have completely finished. I wrote here in my note my intentions. So I wrote my intentions are that I want to hear God, I want to speak to God, and I want him to strengthen my relationship with him. And then I put, I want to be saved. In that week, you guys, is when I was saved. And I just felt God's peace just come over me. Like, in that week, I just felt it gradually increasing. After my fast was completed, I literally never felt better. Like, my thirst and desperation and hunger to become closer to Jesus Christ really just intensified, and I was really on fire for Jesus. I was praying every day. I was reading my Bible every day, and just it felt good to just read the Bible. Like, the Bible is really transforming if you just sit down and read it. It is really transforming, and I was just so excited every day to just get up, pray, and read my Bible and expand my wisdom and knowledge, because it just felt so good. And so, like I said, the week that I went on that fast is when I decided to give my all to God. And after I came off of the fast, I did not stop praying. I did not stop reading my Bible, and I was receiving instant blessings. And I'm not even talking about materialistic things, but I have never felt as good as I did and as good as I do now ever in my life. I was blessed with the peace that I was begging and crying for ever since I started seeking him. God removed all my anxiety and just all the negative thoughts that I would think every day. Like, it would be a lifestyle for me to just think the worst thing about every single thing, and he just removed that. As someone who's honestly gone through conflict and havoc for basically all my life, it's really amazing what God can do if you just put your faith and put your trust in him and you just lean on him. God wants to save us. He loves when we come to him when we're at our lowest, when we're our most desperate for him. And that's what it took for me to be saved and for me to turn to him. Ever since I've been saved, like, I've been consistent. I think about God every day. I implement him into everything that I do. I read my word, not just for knowledge, but to be transformed and to actually apply things to my life and to live like how Jesus wants me to live. And I've been learning and growing every day, and I'm still learning and growing. It feels good to have that peace and that comfort in what we usually tend to turn to worldly things for, whether it's money or sex or drugs or anything like that. Like, you can find that peace, you can fill that void with God. I'm really just thankful for everything that I went through in my life. Like, I used to be the type of person to just sit and beat myself up and be like, why do I have to go through all this? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Why is this happening to me? But now, looking back on it, I'm completely grateful and forever humble that I went through everything that I went through, because it all led me to where I am right now today, where God intended me to be, recording this video for anybody that needs to hear it. And I really am so grateful for Bryce Crawford and seeing his Proverbs series, because that's really what started the whole change and what started my transformation. Proverbs is really an amazing book of the Bible about wisdom and teaching you just little nuggets of wisdom on how you should live your day-to-day life. And it really started the transformation in me. Before I even decided that I wanted to give my life to God, putting my life in God's hands has completely changed my heart posture, my view of things, how I act, how I carry myself, and just how I treat others. Just in every area and aspect of my life, like, everything has changed for the better. And I'm not saying my life is perfect, because it's not, and it's not going to ever be perfect. But I have God, and I have the materials and everything I need to get through any trial or any tribulation that comes to me from now on, and I know how to go about it right. And I'm just so grateful, and I'm so thankful for the change, and I'm thankful that I found God, and I'm forever humble, because my life is not perfect by all means. Like, for those of you that follow me on social media or anything, it might look like it, but people don't post everything. Like, people only tend to post the good things, because I guess that's just the standard of social media. But my life is not perfect, but I have my complete and total faith and trust that God is going to work everything out for my good, and He will, because He promised that to me, and He promises that to you too. And I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to just record this video and share my story for anyone that needed to hear it. No matter what you're going through, you guys, just know that God is going through it there with you. He's with you every step of the way. And just know you're not too damaged, you're not too broken, and you don't have to be perfect when it comes to God. He will meet you in your brokenness, your imperfectness. He's going to meet you. He's going to accept you for who you are, and He will help you to change your life around, as He did for me. I just pray that whoever is watching this video, I pray that my story was just an inspiration for you, and that it touched you in some type of way.